So instead of letting the bastard die, I went over there and he was like, and freaking snot was just all running all down his. I went over to him and said, "Oh, Dad," I put the fire out and I think I remember getting a napkin or something, wiped his damn. Fast forward a year or so later, we've moved again out further out in the country, just us out there. They wouldn't have a family meeting, so we did. Yada, yada, yada. I told the man, I said, "If you hurt my mother one more time, I'm gonna kill you." A little while later, I was in the bathtub. He come busting in with a shotgun. "I'm fixing to hurt her, Scott. You're gonna have to kill me." He was scared. Gun wasn't even loaded, I don't imagine. I said, "Man, I'm gonna kill you." Got up the next morning, went to school, and during the day they come and got me. We left, me and Mother left back to my hometown. All of a sudden, overnight, I was back. 6 years of my life gone, and all of a sudden I was back in Piedmont, Alabama. Would you believe that bitch let him come back? Man, we had it living with Uncle Wilbur and Aunt Marion. Man, had it made. That's where I went in the summertime. So 6 weeks of solitude I had and peace where I could not have to worry about being bullied or fucking living with an alcoholic or for 6 weeks. And we were back and we were living with him, man. It was great. Me and Blake got along. We didn't have any problems with my cousin. I mean, we'd always got along. And she let his dumb ass come back. I remember one day at Aunt Marion's, different subject. I need to calm down a minute. My cousin David Epps, God rest his soul, he was stationed down in Chattahoochee with my stepdad, Leroy Myers. So he'd come up from Chattahoochee back to Piedmont, and he brought my dog Samson with him. Because when me and Mother left, we fucking left, dude. So I didn't have my buddy. Well, David pulled up in the back, and I walked out the back door, and David put Samson on the ground. Samson was kind of coming towards me, and Duchess, my cousin's English bulldog, attacked him. She wasn't having that shit. He was on her property, and that was smart of her. I mean, and Samson ran off. Snatched away from me again. Well, the Lord Jesus Christ is my witness. Weeks later, gone by a long time, I'm up, pull up to my best friend, Michael Leroy's house. I wonder how his mom was doing. I wonder if his mom died too. Hey, Mike. What's up, Leroy? Hey, Tommy Hips. And went walking up to Mike's porch, and every damn, I was like, looks like Samson. And all of a sudden, he's like, Samson come over. He's like, he just stood on the he just went crazy because he was back when we were like, oh God, Samson. Oh man, got him in my '69 Oldsmobile F85 Cutlass with a Rocket 350 engine in it. Took him home. On the porch, I got him in some food, a little house and shit out there, and Otis comes home. That's what we call Myers, Otis, because he's a damn drunk. Andy Griffith Show Otis, get it? Anyway, he come, what the hell is right here? Any fool would know it's like a damn dog bowl and a little makeshift dog house. I was like, that's Samson, Dad, that's Samson. Fast forward, I'm like a junior in high school now. Maybe, yeah, I think a junior. Well, I went out to get drunk for my first time ever, and I was riding around with Scott McCord, and I think Scott McCord and whoever, I don't even remember who else it was, but Mike Leroy may have been there, but no, Scott wasn't riding around with Scott McCord. I saw him later. I was riding around with Mike Leroy, and the only way I could drink that shit was just take a cup, and I was determined to get drunk to see what was all about. Anyway. Yada, yada, yada. On the way home, I'm like driving home drunk as a skunk. And Scott McCord comes up. He's like, saw that I was drinking, and they said that I said something about telling on Tommy Epps. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What are you talking about? I said, he tell nobody. Tommy didn't either. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so I imagine Tommy told Retha, and Retha told Janice, and Janice told Leroy. Well, come in the house one day, and they're sitting at the kitchen table. They would have a talk about my drinking, because I went out and I said, you seem to like it. I said, y'all seem to like it. He jumps up and grabs me by the neck. Don't you talk to your mama like that. I was talking to him, mainly, I think. Still trying to control. That's the last really issue I remember. I don't remember many issues after that for years, really don't. I hadn't even thought about that. Anyway, yada, 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 graduation, kaboom, bah, joined the Air Force, gone. We're now over 10 years later. And circumstances happen, and I'm down in Alabama and divorced, just all this junk. Anyway, I needed a minute, so my mother lets me live with them. Well, they've done moved into this tiny little freaking trailer. I mean, it's like tiny. It's got a little nice little lot, but it's a tiny little thing. The room I was in is smaller than this Jeep I'm in, I think. Yeah, he's about the size of this Jeep. Maybe that's why I'm so comfortable in here. Actually, it seemed like it was more narrow than this Jeep. Anyway, so I was hanging out with them. So since another night we was having a family meeting, we was all just sitting there, and it wasn't really called a meeting. It's just I was sitting on the couch like I am here. My mother was sitting like right over there in her recliner. And Myers was sitting over there in that recliner, right? I'm just sitting there, and wasn't mad. Nobody was arguing. I mean, it was just a conversation. I'm just looking at the man talk and staring and looking him in the eye, I'm like just making eye contact with him. Next thing I know, he flies off that couch, and he's got me by the neck and pushes me back on the couch. Well, he just squeezing on muscle. He ain't doing any damage. I'm just, I did more damage right there. See my voice change. He didn't do that. He just had his no pressure on the front. He was like, what really seemed like he was squeezing to hurt is like he's trying to intimidate. It's what it meant. Well, because I'm not thinking about, what's wrong with this food? What's going on here? Because like I said, we weren't arguing. Nobody was mad. It was just a conversation. I don't even know what we're talking about. My mother sitting over here. Now Leroy. That's what she said. Now Leroy. Instead of, damn, get the fuck off of him, my kid. I'm 35, whatever years old at this point. Maybe not. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm in my 30s, not 35, but I was in my 30s. Anyway, damn military veteran trained. They don't know what the fuck I did in there. None of y'all do. Or since. It's a different story. Anyway, she's at now Leroy. And she comes over and she puts him in a bear hug. And she just kind of leans back. Well, he kind of loses his balance. Because I'm like coming up and, he's kind of loses his balance. Back when he does, all them years of that shit that was pinned up came out in one mighty punch. I come off that couch and I planted my right foot in the ground and I delivered the mighty uppercut to the gut. Still recording? Looks like it. This came up and boom, caught him right up underneath the rib cage. Right underneath the rib cage. And the instant I did, he was unconscious before he hit the floor. I hit him, he went poof. It knocked him out. He must have had so little oxygen in his brain from the alcohol and then the exertion. Then what was left, he just probably being close to blacked out. He's probably blacked out. He don't remember it. So if he was that, anyway, maybe it wasn't as mighty a punch as I'm thinking, but boom, he was unconscious. He's laying before me now. He's like down on the ground, right? He's like, his head's up here, his head's up here where this little hemp roll is. His body's laying like this. So he's laying there. I'm standing up over him like this. See? And I look down on him. And what went through my mind from my training, I guess it was like, this went through my mind. It's like, kill him now. Take your heel, ram his nose up in his brain and kill him. And it's justified. He attacked you. I mean, it'll be done. And I looked at him and I'm like, you ain't worth it. And I stepped over his lifeless body and walked out the door. Then the knucklehead had the one other occasion. I don't know what him calls this, but he got in my face and just a single pop right to the forehead. And he couldn't figure out why his fucking head hurt for 3 days. Damn it, boy. Why in the hell did she ever let that bastard come back? I never understand that. I will never understand that. I get it. I get it when you got a child to feed. I get going through any kind of bullshit for your baby. I get that shit. But damn, this is like freaking, we're like in there. We'd escaped that shit. She didn't need him. What the? When she got married the first time to Grady, she wanted to just get the hell out of the house. So she needed Grady, but hell, she didn't. What the fuck did she need? We was living in Aunt Mary's. She had a job already, and I mean, they had friends and stuff. What the fuck did she need him for? What the fuck did my mother need him for? I get making a mistake and all that in the years, but fuck, you escape that shit and get me out of it, and you fucking bring it right back. I don't understand that shit. Never once I fucking apologized or said, but she had a bunch of fucking guilt. Like, she didn't know what. I'm like, anytime we try to talk about it, she'd get all like defensive. I'm like, why would anybody do that? Forget me. Why the fuck would you do it to yourself? Is it some kind of sick enjoyment? And you're not comfortable unless you're uncomfortable? I don't get that shit at all. Come out from among them. That's what I do. I don't. Anyway, oh glory. Oh, somebody wants to know about that. Just say there's a couple fools that won't be jumping in front of a. Never mind. Splash 2. Ghost Rider.